morning, everyone. Let's talk about money today. We're going to understand what positive and negative numbers mean in a situation involving money. For today's lesson, you're going to need your pencil, the lesson 4 worksheet, and a calculator. Please pause the video to get those items now. All right, before we begin with the worksheet, just think about the situation. Priya is buying concert tickets for her and her friends with the money she earned at her part-time job. This month, she has earned $135. Can she buy 3 $50 tickets for the concert? Does she have enough money? No, she does not have enough money because 3 tickets are going to cost her a total of $150. So she will not have enough money to buy all 3 tickets. Now, there are instances where we can borrow money from a bank to buy things that we can't afford at the time. Then we can pay the money back to the bank in the future. And we call this debt. For today's lesson, we're going to be paying attention to money that's getting paid into an account, and we call that a deposit. And then we also have money that gets taken out of a bank account, and we call that a withdrawal. How can we represent owing money? So in Priya's case, she wants to buy $150 worth of tickets, but only got paid $135. So she's going to have to find where that extra money's coming from. How can we represent owing that money to the bank? All right, let's go to our worksheet. At the top, on the first page, we have a bank statement from the responsible bank to Andre Person. Here we see how Andre spent his money for the month of October in 2017. All right, so his previous balance, bank statements always start with a previous balance. The month before, this is where he ended with $39.87. And then on October 5th, he wrote a check for $28.50. And if you look over at the balance, you notice now that the balance is $11.37. So the bank has shown that this money was taken out of the account when he wrote a check, and then the remaining balance that's left in the account. Next, he deposited cash into the ATM on October 6th. He deposited $45, and $11.37 plus $45 is $56.37. Okay, if we continue, we can see under the withdrawal column, Andre did a wire transfer for $37.91. And we see that in the balance because we went from $56.37 to $18.46. Okay, you see the pattern that happens when we do withdrawals and deposits. Deposits add money to the account, and withdrawals remove money from the account. So as Andre is taking money out and putting it back in, we see here at the end of this cycle, or this month, that he ended up with negative $62.47. Why do you think this number is negative? It's negative because he took out more money than he had in his account. So this is actually money that he owes the bank. He owes $62.47. If he does not pay that back in a timely manner, then he gets a fine on his account. So he has to pay extra money. Plus, he has to pay back interest to the bank because they're now letting him borrow money without their permission. Okay. So we're going to take Andre's account, and most banks will not separate withdrawals and deposits on their statements. If you look down at the bottom part of the sheet, okay, I recreated this bank statement. However, if you notice, it says action. Most bank statements will have the money listed here as positive or negative numbers because of it saves them ink and paper. So as we're looking at the statement above, I'm not going to go back and forth on my screen, but if we look at check number 256. What column was that in on the statement above? That was a withdrawal. So how do we show that we're taking money out of an account? We make it negative. So I'm going to put negative $28.50. That's how we show that check was taking money away. What about the deposit? Would that be a negative number? No, that's going to be a positive number because we're adding money into the account. So we're going to make that a positive $45. What about the wire transfer? That should say negative $37.91. What about the grocery store? Did he get money from the grocery store, or did he pay money at the grocery store? He paid money, so he paid $16.43. That means he took that money out of his account to pay it. I want you to continue the last 3 lines of the statement and put those numbers in as either positive or negative values. Pause the video to do that now. Okay, so now that you've done that, on the next page, you have 2 questions about the statement you just filled in. Andre withdraws $40 to buy a music player. So at the end of the month, he had negative $62.47. If Andre buys a $40 music player and withdraws that $40, what would his new balance be? Write that answer under number 1. Then, if Andre deposits $100 in his account, will he still be in debt? And how do you know? I want you to determine, will he have paid back his debt? And I want you to tell me how you know that it's either a paid back or not. So you have to include a sentence here. Pause the video to answer those 2 questions now. Okay, so now you have this last bank statement that you're going to do on your own. Okay, I will help start you off, but you are going to complete the rest of this on your own. If you turn this in blank, I will return it back to you and tell you that you need to continue working on it. All right, so here's a statement for Kieran Anderson. This is for a cafeteria lunch account, okay? So his previous balance is already on the account from January 3rd, 2023, and he had $24 in his account at the beginning of that month. We're going to use these statements down here at the bottom to fill in the rest of the statement and to figure out how much he had at the end of this statement. At the beginning of the month, Kieran had spent $24. We know this is true because the previous balance says $24 on the statement. He spent $16 at a craft fair. How much money did he have then? Okay, so we know that he spent $16, so that means he's taking money out of his account so he can spend it. So we're taking out $16. That's why it's negative. Okay, and then over here for the description, what did he spend that money on? He spent it on the craft fair. You're going to use your calculator to determine how much money he had left over after spending that $16, and you should have gotten $8 left. Okay, you are going to continue the rest of these. So I'm going to highlight number 1 in yellow, so that way you know we did that one already. You need to complete lines 2, 3, 4, and 5 on this statement. If you have any questions, you need to raise your hand. When you are done, bring me your statement so I can look it over, and then I will give you the code for the mastery check. Thank you.